Welcome back to the High School Kids program. Today we're doing Moed, Katan, Bet, Amid Bet. Today's Gemara includes three main points. First one is when someone waters some plants or they're de-weeding around some plants, is that considered the malacha of plowing on Shabbos or planting on Shabbos? Chorish or Zoreh? And then we have a question about kilayim, a planting or maintaining of plants that are intermixed, that are not supposed to be planted that way, like grapes and wheat that are planted next to each other. So same thing, same story about de-weeding them. That is forbidden. The question is sort of why? Is that like planting or that's just like maintaining? And the same thing with Shemitah. Why is it permitted to water a field during the Shemitah? So either it has to be because it's derabanan or because watering is not exactly like planting. Somebody who is de-weeding a field of plants or they are watering the field, what should we warn them for? When you're giving them a warning, say, don't violate Shabbos because you're about to do blank. Question is, what do we say in that blank? Do we say zoreh? Hey, you're watering the field, that's zoreh, you're planting, or do we say that's chorish? Rabba Mishum Chorish, it's like plowing. Rabbi Yosef Mishum Zoreh, that's like planting. Amar Rabbi Kavati like me makes a lot of sense, meaning follow my opinion. Why? The point of plowing is to soften the ground. This way you're able to plant over there. So too, when you water or you de-weed, you're making the ground more fertile to be able to plant there. No, my opinion makes more sense. The point of Zoreh is to promote growth and of plants, to start the growth, planting it from the beginning. And so too with watering, you promote, or de-weeding, it's promoting the growth of the field. Rabbi says, wait a second, I don't understand either opinion. Why? According to you, I have a problem. You're telling me it's only plowing, it's not planting. Maybe it's both. And also on the other opinion, you're telling me it's only planting and not chorish. Why I say chorish in zorelo or mishum zorei in mishum chorish? It should be this one and not the other one. It doesn't make sense either way. Really, it should be both for both opinions. That's what Abai is asking. Meaning, there should be no machlokas. Everybody should agree to everybody. So we basically have three opinions: is it chorish, is it zorei, or is it both? And says Abai, is it possible to actually violate two malachos with one action? He says, maybe you'll tell me that anytime you do, there are two malachos that you're violating with one fell swoop, you're only going to be obligated for one of them. Rav Kahana says not that way. Why? If somebody is pruning the tree branches on a tree, and he needs those branches, well, he violates two things. One of them is planting. He's making the tree better, that's able to grow and regrow tree branches better if it had too many branches. Also, it's kosher. He's detaching them from the ground. So, kasha, it's a great question about it. Maybe it should be two things. If somebody is de-weeding a field where there's kilayim, intermixed plants are also planted next to each other, or they cover over the plants with dirt, that's they get malchus, they get lashes for violating the prohibition of planting kilayim. It's problematic even to maintain kalayim. Just to leave kalayim around, you have to uproot them actively. According to me, that I say that when you de-weed or you water, that's like planting. So it makes a lot of sense why you're not allowed to plant kalayim and you're not allowed to water kalayim, because water is like planting. You say there's no prohibition to plow a field of kalayim or plow before you're going to do kalayim. That's not a violation of kalayim. So the fact that someone's de-weeding, it's considered kalayim, obviously indicates that how would you categorically define de-weeding and watering, or at least de-weeding in this proof, is planting and not considered plowing. In fact, kalayim is a little different. You can be violating it for maintaining it. But don't we hear about that in the Seif on the end of the Brisa? It's only the opinion of Rabbi Akiva that introduces the idea of violating kalayim by just maintaining it. But according to Tanakh, we never heard of that. Obviously, it probably is not the case. And Tanakh it does not agree with Rabbi Akiva. And therefore, it has to come back to what we said before. It has to be like planting. No, cool, the Rabbi Akiva. In fact, you really could say, Rabbi Akiva is the author of the Brisa. He's just explaining his opinion. That somebody de-weeds or covers over dirt over the plants in order to promote them, that's violating Kalim. Why? Loka, not because that's planting. Loka mishum kikaim, that's like maintaining, not doing anything. Should give them even doing nothing. My time at Rabbi Kiva, what's the source of Rabbi Kiva's opinion? It says in the Torah, planting. Who said that you can't maintain? Lo tizra kalim, you're not allowed to plant it. Ainly elazoreya mekayim ayin. That's only planting, but what about leaving it there? If you pause in that way, you read the verse that way, then it comes out to say you're not allowed to have kalim. Kalim that's in your field, lo, can't be that way. Okay, that itself is a prohibition. The way the formulation of the Torah could have said it more directly, lo tizra kalim, doesn't say it that way. The formulation of the Torah enables this particular drush or Rabbi Kiva. The first mission we had in our Masech that told us they're allowed to water irrigated field on Chol Moed and Shemitah. We understand the prohibition of Chol Moed is all about doing tircha on Chol Moed you're not supposed to do. But for a law, you're allowed to. And the rabbis allow that. Whether you say that watering is like plowing or whether you say it's like planting, it doesn't matter. For Shemitah, both those are prohibited. You're not allowed to plant or plow or anything during Shemitah to the ground. So why is that permitted to water the field that's irrigated? Rabbi says, well, because Shemitah is not anyway derabbanan, so they allowed it for a loss. Rebbe's opinion is derabbanan because he says there are two types of Shemitahs, and the pasuk is referring to both of them and compares them one to the other. The nullification of the loans a person has to another happens at Shemitah, at the end of the Shemitah, and so too the karka not being able to work the field is a different type of Shemitah, and those are compared to each other. At the time when you have the idea of not working the field, it's also the time that your loans are canceled. When that doesn't apply to the land, it also doesn't apply to the money as well. The loans are not broken when Shemitah is not applicable, so too the loans are not going to be broken. But that implies there is such a time, says Rashi, and what could that time possibly refer to? This man is that when after the Churban, when Rov Klal Yisrael is not in Eretz Yisrael. Rav Amar Avilatim Rabbanan Avot Asur Rachmana told lo Asur Rachmana. Rav says a different conception, a way to look at the Shemitah is because there are head categories when it comes to Hilchos Shabbos, and that includes planting, plowing, and the like, but does not include watering and weeding. Those are total. Those are subcategories that are not found in the Mishkan. They are subcategories of the same purpose, but therefore, since they're not directly included, when it comes to Shabbos, of course, they are forbidden. All those entals are included in Shabbos. When it comes to Shemitah, they are not included at all, and therefore permitted, as we have in our Mishnah, you can water the irrigated field on Shemitah.